You have read Proverbs. Maybe you have a favorite verse. Proverbs 18 verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Or Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Maybe Proverbs 13 verse 22. A good man leaves an inheritance. You have read it. You have quoted it. You have probably posted one of those verses on your WhatsApp status. And you are still broke. Not because Proverbs failed you. Not because those verses are not true. Because you have been reading a financial manual like a devotional. And there is a difference. A devotional is for comfort. A manual is for execution. The Book of Proverbs, all 31 chapters, was written by the wealthiest man who ever lived, Solomon. A man whose annual income was 666 talents of gold. 1 Kings chapter 10. You can look it up. That is approximately 25 tons of gold every year. He was not writing poetry. He was writing a system, a money system, built inside wisdom language. And most believers have been reading it as inspiration when God intended it as instruction. Today, that changes. We are going through Proverbs and pulling out 6 specific money patterns that Solomon embedded into this book. Not vague wisdom, not spiritual motivation, 6 precise, actionable money patterns that you can apply to your finances this week. If you have ever read Proverbs and walked away feeling inspired but still financially stuck, this video is the translation you never got. Stay with me all the way to the end. Because the pattern you have been missing might be sitting in the very chapter you always skip. Let me tell you what Proverbs actually is. It is not a collection of nice thoughts. It is not ancient self-help. It is a compressed wealth curriculum written by a king to his son, who was about to inherit a kingdom and needed to know how to handle the money that came with it. Every proverb is a principle. Every principle is a law. And every law, when applied, produces a predictable result. Proverbs 1:2 tells you exactly why Solomon wrote it. For gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 2-3. That word, prudent, in Hebrew is sekel. It means practical intelligence that produces a successful outcome, not just knowing what is right. Knowing what works. 6 money patterns, all from Proverbs, all sitting in your Bible right now, waiting for you to stop reading them as inspiration and start using them as instruction. 6 money patterns from Proverbs. Pattern 1, the principle of preparation. Proverbs 6 verses 6-8. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Proverbs 6 verse 6-8. Most people read this as a verse about laziness. It is not just about laziness, it is about timing. The ant does not store food in winter. It stores food in summer, while food exists. So it survives winter when food does not. That is preparation. And it is the first money pattern in this book. The ant has no commander telling it to save, no overseer reminding it that winter is coming, no ruler forcing it to prepare. It simply reads the season and acts. Proverbs 24 follows the same logic. A sluggard does not plow in season, so at harvest time he looks but finds nothing. Proverbs 20 verse 4. He looks but finds nothing. This person was not lazy forever. They just did not act when the season required it. And when harvest came, there was nothing to show for it. Here is how this pattern applies to you right now. Right now, today, is either your summer or your winter. If income is coming in, this is your summer. Summer is not for spending everything. Summer is for storing. Whatever comes into your hand this month, before you spend any of it, put something away, even a small amount. This week, the ant, with no boss, no reminder, no accountability partner, never goes hungry, because it prepared when it could. Pattern 2. The principle of the slow build. This is the most violated principle in the entire book of Proverbs. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Proverbs 13:11. Read the second half again slowly. Whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Not whoever prays for a big breakthrough, not whoever claims their miracle, not whoever finds the right investment at the right moment. Whoever gathers, little by little. Solomon, the man with 25 tons of gold per year, said this is how money actually grows. Now look at the first part of that verse. Dishonest money dwindles away. In Solomon's language, dishonest money meant money that came too fast, money that skipped the process, money chased with shortcuts. It dwindles every time, without exception. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Proverbs 21 verse 5. Haste leads to poverty. Not sometimes. As surely as. This is why get-rich-quick schemes keep finding Christian buyers, because the desire for breakthrough is real. The pain of the current situation is real. And when someone offers a fast way out of that pain, the temptation is strong. But Proverbs has already told you where fast money ends up. It dwindles. Every time. The slow build does not look impressive from the outside. Saving a small amount every week does not look like a miracle. But 12 months from now, 24 months from now, little by little becomes much. That is mathematics, written in Proverbs. The practical application is simple. Choose a fixed amount, any amount. You will save every single week. Not when you feel like it, not when there is extra. A fixed amount every week, without exception. Put it somewhere you cannot easily touch, and do not look at it for 6 months. That is Proverbs 13:11 in action. Pattern 3. The principle of debt freedom. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22 verse 7. Slave. Solomon did not say the borrower is inconvenienced. He did not say the borrower is at a slight disadvantage. He said slave. Slavery, in the ancient world, was a total condition. The slave's time did not belong to them. The slave's labor did not belong to them. The slave's future did not belong to them. Now think about every debt you are carrying right now. Every monthly payment you make. That is your labor going to someone else before you ever see it. Every interest charge, that is the cost of the borrowing. You are paying for the privilege of being owned. That is Proverbs 22:7, applied to your bank statement. Now here is what I need you to hear. This is not a condemnation of everyone who has debt. Most of us have been there. Some of us are there right now. This is a direction, a compass pointing north. The debt freedom path. Write every debt down, smallest to largest. Attack the smallest one with every extra resource you have. Pay only minimums on everything else. When it dies, move everything onto the next one, debt by debt, chain by chain. Proverbs 13 verse 11. Little by little, applied to elimination instead of accumulation. That is not a modern financial trick. That is the Proverbs principle of debt freedom. And real financial freedom means your labor belongs to you again. Your income belongs to your family again. Your future belongs to God again, not to the lender. Pattern 4. The principle of diligent monitoring. This is the quietest pattern in the book. Nobody preaches about it. Nobody posts it on Instagram. But it might be the one costing you the most. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever. Proverbs 27 verse 23 to 24. Flocks. Herds. In Solomon's world, your livestock was your net worth. Your herds were your income-producing assets. And God told Solomon to tell you, know the state of your flocks. The Hebrew word behind know here is yada. It means to know intimately, face to face, the way you know someone you live with every single day. God is not saying, glance at your balance once a month. He is saying, know your money the way you know your own name. And if you are honest, most people do not. They know roughly what comes in. They have a general feeling about what goes out. And every month they wonder where it all went. I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. Proverbs 24, verse 30 to 31. Notice what destroyed that field. Not a drought, not an enemy, not theft, neglect. The field fell apart on its own simply because nobody paid attention to it. Your finances do exactly the same thing. If you do not track your spending, it leaks. If you do not review your subscriptions, they multiply quietly. If you do not know your balance daily, you make decisions based on feelings instead of facts, and feelings are expensive. Here is the practical step. For the next 30 days, write down every single thing you spend, every meal, every transport fare, every transfer, everything, not to punish yourself, to know the state of your flocks. Because I guarantee you will find a leak you did not know existed, and that leak, multiplied over 12 months, is the distance between where you are and where you could be. Pattern 5. The principle of wise counsel. This one asks you to look at who is speaking into your financial life. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Proverbs 13, verse 20. The Hebrew word for harm there is roa. It does not mean mildly inconvenienced. It means shattered, broken, destroyed. A companion of fools suffers destruction, not because the fool attacks them, because they absorb the fool's patterns. Your financial habits did not form in a vacuum. They formed in a family, in a group of friends, in a church environment, in a workplace. The people you spend the most time with determine what feels financially normal to you. If everyone around you spends everything they earn, saving feels strange. If everyone around you lives on debt, debt feels normal. If nobody in your circle invests, investing feels like something other people do. Environment shapes expectation. Expectation shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcome. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Proverbs 15, verse 22. Plans fail for lack of counsel. It is not just that bad company hurts you. The absence of wise counsel is itself the problem. If you are making financial decisions alone, with no one wiser than you speaking into it, Proverbs says your plans are already at risk. The practical step is not complicated. Find one person who is further ahead financially than you. Not someone who looks successful on social media. Someone who is actually building quietly, faithfully, steadily. Ask them one question, just one. What is the one financial habit that has helped you most? Then listen. Do not explain your situation. Do not defend your current approach. Just listen and apply what you hear. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Find your iron. That one conversation could save you years. Pattern 6. The principle of multiplied streams. This is the pattern that separates people who earn well from people who actually build wealth. Proverbs 31. Most people read this chapter as a devotional about a virtuous woman. It is a business case study. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. Proverbs 31, verse 16. She considers a field, she buys it. That is real estate. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. That is a second income stream, built from the first one. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. Proverbs 31, verse 24. She makes and sells. That is manufacturing and wholesale trade, a third and fourth income stream. One woman. In Proverbs 31, 4 income streams: real estate, agriculture, manufacturing, trade. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. Proverbs 31 verse 18. She sees that her trading is profitable. She does not hope, it is working. She does not pray, it is working. She checks, she monitors, she knows. That connects directly back to pattern 4. Know the state of your flocks. The Proverbs 31 woman was not a miracle story. She was a Proverbs student who applied what she read, and Ecclesiastes 11:2 gives us the principle behind her entire approach. Invest in 7 ventures, yes in 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. Spread your income, spread your sources, because you do not know which one fails next. One salary is a single point of failure. If that job ends, you have nothing. But if your income comes from 2 places, even 3, and one of them falls, you survive on the others. Here is the question this pattern puts in front of you. What skill do you have right now that someone else would pay for? If you simply made it available, writing, teaching, cooking, fixing, building, designing, you do not need a formal business. You do not need startup capital. You need to identify one thing you can offer and start offering it this week. The Proverbs 31 woman did not start with 4 income streams. She started with 1 and built from there. 1 stream, built steadily, over time, little by little, it grows. Let me speak to you plainly now. 6 patterns, all from Proverbs. Prepare in season, build slowly and consistently, break free from debt, monitor what you have. Surround yourself with wise counsel. Build more than 1 income stream. None of these are complicated. None of them require a financial background. None of them cost money to start. They require decision. They require discipline. They require time. And that is exactly why most people read Proverbs for years and never apply it. Because inspiration is comfortable. Instruction is demanding. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14 verse 23. Mere talk leads only to poverty. Not bad talk, not sinful talk. Mere talk. Just talk with no action attached to it. Every person who has watched a video like this before said that was good and kept scrolling. Proverbs has already described their financial future. This is not the channel for people who want to feel inspired. This is the channel for people who are ready to execute. The question is, which one are you? Here is what I want you to do right now. Before this video ends, before you open another app, pick 1 pattern, just 1. The one that caused something to tighten in your chest. The one you felt before I even finished explaining it. The one that brought a specific situation in your life to mind. That is your pattern. Start there. Not all 6 at once. Not a new year, new me plan. Not a transformation starting Monday. 1 pattern, 1 decision, today. If it is preparation, open a savings account today, right now. If it is the slow build, name a fixed weekly amount and save it today. If it is debt freedom, write your debts down tonight, smallest to largest. If it is monitoring, start tracking every spend tomorrow morning. If it is wise counsel, send a message to 1 wise person today. If it is multiplied streams, write down 1 skill you can offer this week, 1 action, 1 pattern. Today, not eventually. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it costs all you have, get understanding. Proverbs 4 verse 7. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Getting wisdom means doing something with what you learn. Not storing it, not admiring it, using it. You have just spent time in the Book of Proverbs with 6 patterns that Solomon, the wealthiest man who ever lived, left there for exactly this moment in your life. The question is not whether the patterns work. They have been working for 3,000 years. If you falter in a time of trouble, how small is your strength? Proverbs 24 verse 10. Do not falter at the point of application. That is where most people stop. Right at the moment where knowledge has to become action. Do not let that be you. Pick your pattern, Make your decision. Begin,